What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the Sports Sidebar Podcast. You're tuning in with your boy Rich, and I'm here with my buddies Tom and JD, and we're about to get this thing started. Let's go. Welcome everybody. Welcome back to another episode. We got a spanking brand new one for you. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing all right, Rich. How you doing?
Doing good, man. I'm on the edge of my seat, and we got the Knicks kicking off in a little while. We need to win these next three.
Yeah, you don't want to see them go home tonight. That's for sure.
Oh no, yeah, no, definitely not. So I mean, we'll see. Kicking off in an hour, about half an hour. So
how you feeling?
I mean, even if we lost, I mean, like I said before, it's been a good season. I felt like Atlanta's a team we could have beat, but Julius Randle struggled the first three games. I mean, he had a decent game last game, but I don't know if the most improved player got to him, or maybe just because this is his first playoff experience, especially for a lot of other guys like RJ. I mean, the only one that really had playoff experience on the team is Taj Gibson and Derrick Rose. So
yeah, do you think he kind of struggles in the when the defense is amplified and he just hasn't looked like himself? At least
yeah,
not
I think
this season.
Yeah, I think that's a key factor to it as well, because we talked about it before. Once you get to the playoffs, things slow down. So some of those same things you were doing during the season, you might not be able to get off during the season because teams hone in on you, especially defensively. Well, I mean, it's up to other guys to step up, him as well, to be prepared for it, because know it's coming. But like I said, I mean, a lot of these guys haven't had playoff experience. This is a good opportunity for them to get their feet wet. I mean, they did win a game. If they were to go down tonight, I'm looking forward just to what the Knicks have in store.
Yeah, they definitely seem like they're building something there in New York, as long as Tibbs doesn't burn them all out this offseason.
Yeah, we got some opportunities to get some other free agents, 2 first-round draft picks. So I mean, I don't think they're going to re-sign Knox or Frank. They haven't been playing well. So I mean, I think other players are noticing the Knicks are on the way trending up. So they might be able to lure in some other free agents. So
yeah, for sure.
And then, I mean, since we're in the NBA, how you feeling about your Celtics, man?
Oh, it was quite the, couple of maybe like 12, 20 hours, something like that. They get kind of ousted from the playoffs, which I think people were expecting. A lot of people kind of upset this morning that the Celtics didn't, respond to Kyrie. I don't think that anyone was looking for anything, aggressive or out of line, but maybe he's coming down the into the lane, give him a little hard shove, hard foul. Don't let him just kind of continue to run his mouth and kind of bash the Celtics organization. So I think there's a lot of people upset about that. I mean, Marcus Smart kind of prides himself on being that kind of a player, defending the team, defending the organization, and it was just a little. I was expecting some sort of response last night, and didn't seem like it was there. And then this morning, big shakeup. Stevens is done as coach. Ainge is out as GM and president of basketball operations, and Stevens has taken over Ainge's role. I don't think it's a bad move. It sounds like Stevens may have been burnt out coaching, especially at the NBA level, and he doesn't really seem interested in going back to the college level, but wants to be in the game. And I think that this could be a good gig for him. Real smart basketball guy, understands what you need in the NBA to win. Knows what you need, especially in today's game. Can relate to the players and the style of basketball. I think that's maybe where Ainge sort of was. Maybe losing it a little bit, not being able to relate to the players of the day of, this time. And I don't know, maybe people are kind of so afraid to deal with him that he can't get the deals he wants done, can't fill the spots he needs. And health reasons too, right? I mean, the guy's had 2 heart attacks. So, I think it's a good time to shake things up. I think it'll be good. Let Stevens find the coach. I think he's a smart enough basketball mind to find the right guy for this team. Hoping they consult with Tatum and Brown. You don't want to bring a guy in that those guys don't like. They are the future of your team. So, but maybe it's maybe Brad lost the room a little bit. Maybe they were just kind of tuning him out. And this is the change that they need.
Who would you like to see as a replacement for Stevens?
I like the idea of an old, an ex-player, someone who's got some experience, at least a little bit of experience coaching, and can relate to the players. I'm thinking, we talked about a little bit, but I like the Chauncey Billups, Sam Cassell idea, someone like that. Both guys know the organization. Kenny Atkinson wouldn't be a bad hire. He did some good things with the Nets. I don't know. I don't know who else is out there. I mean, the Celtics kind of went outside the box last time when they got Stevens, and that turned out to be a pretty good hire. Maybe they do something like that again. Maybe there's a college coach, that they're eyeing. I've heard the coach from Ohio State, his name came up. I think he's got to figure out how to, you got to get a guy in there that, in my mind, a guy that's won and a guy that can, be on the same level as these guys that are on the team now. And I know it's a little bit of a different game now than even maybe 10 years ago, but knowing what it takes to, get to the playoffs over a long season and then excel in the playoffs, I think that, and obviously, knows the X's and O's.
Oh yeah. You think there's any chance Coach K comes out of retirement for the Celtics?
I don't think there's a chance in hell he does. Why would he leave Duke to go coach somewhere else? He's been turning down offers for years, most notably the Lakers there with Kobe and Shaq before Phil Jackson took over. So I don't see why he would do that, especially at, 75, 76 years old.
Yeah, I mean he's got another 5 years left.
Yeah. I don't want that. I don't know. I don't think that's the way to go. Honestly, I think they really need an ex player that can, can kind of lament with these guys a little bit, right?
Yeah, I like Chauncey. I think that would be a good pickup. I mean, he's been trying to get into coaching for a while. I know he's been trying out for he was in some interviews for the Clippers at one point, and some other teams. I wouldn't mind seeing him get a coaching job, him or even Kenny the Jet. I know he's been interviewing for a few positions before. No one's ever taken him. So I mean, yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. They're gonna, they said they're gonna do an extensive look. I know Jason Tatum's already tweeted he wants Evan Turner to be the coach. I don't think Evan's ready, and Evan himself pretty much said he's not ready. But you can already tell that they're kind of angling towards the guy that we're talking about.
Yeah. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what you guys do from there.
Yep.
Around the rest of the league, I mean, we had the Lakers. They lost no AD. They lost to the Suns last night on the brink of elimination. It looks like we might see both teams that were in the finals out of the first round.
Yeah, I mean, they just didn't look like the same team without AD in there, and I think we all kind of knew that just based on the way this year went. And then before AD was in LA, they were kind of a little bit of a mess with just LeBron. So not unexpected here, I don't think, but. If they want any chance of making it out of the first round, they need to get AD back for Game 6.
Oh yeah, even if he comes back, I don't think he'll be fully healthy. So
no.
I think the Suns might get him up out of here.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to see. If the Lakers were to go out, that means we're definitely gonna get a new NBA champion.
How do you feel about LeBron leaving the bench with 5 minutes to go and calling it quits for the night?
I mean, they were down by like 30 at one point. So I mean, he should have. Once they hit 30, I mean, at that point, he pretty much should have sat out. I mean, everybody was ice cold. I mean, somebody on the team, he's gonna have to increase his output. I mean, don't get me wrong, he started off, aggressive, but he went cold. Then nobody else couldn't hit a bucket. I don't know if they have the right dynamic on their bench with Gasol and those other bigs. I think they need somebody else that can create their own shot. Like if they kept a Clarkson or somebody like that. I mean, that would have been great, but. Other than that, I mean, I don't think this Laker team is made to win it this year.
Yeah, I don't think so. They've kind of battled injuries as well, which has been difficult. Kind of makes you think about some of the guys they've traded away or let go, and as opposed to some of the guys they've kept too. Yeah, I was a little. I don't like when players leave the bench. I don't care. Who you are. It's just kind of disrespectful to the rest of the team, to put almost like put yourself above the team. Like, we're done. I'm not going to sit here for this anyway. So I don't really care for that move from LeBron.
Yeah, maybe that was his way of trying to send a message to the team. Because sometimes people do that. They'll do stuff like that to get under player's skin.
Maybe, but like that's not. I'd rather him sit there and be cussing me out for not playing well than just leaving. Like, I don't know. That's just, to me, not the way to do it.
Yeah, but, maybe he's not that type of person to be, cursing out other players. But, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they do this offseason as well. I mean, Anthony Davis has the option of opting out. Does he stay or does he go? I mean, Kawhi might be out there if, he opts out. So there's a lot of moving pieces going on during this offseason.
Yeah, for sure.
And then on the other, some of the other games we had, I mean, we had the Mavericks and the Clippers. I mean, they're tied up 2-2. How you feel about that? You think the Mavericks can still take it, or you think the Clippers took control of the series now?
Mavericks are going to need some other scoring outside of Luka if they want to beat the Clippers. And I know that the Clippers are a pretty good defensive team, but you're going to have to get some secondary scoring there. Yeah, I don't know. It's been kind of a tale of two series already, right? I mean, they came out and Mavericks kind of squashed the Clippers for 2 games, kind of let Kawhi do his own thing and shut everyone else down. And then, basically the Clippers did that to the Mavericks in Dallas, let Luka kind of do whatever he wanted and then, shut everyone else down. So, yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how this series goes from here. I still kind of like the Mavericks just because I feel like, the Clippers look a little bit lackadaisical at times, but I could see either team kind of coming out. I imagine this series is going to go to 7.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, who else on that team could score or step up. We were kind of hoping it would be Porzingis, but he's been all over the place as far as injuries and his play being inconsistent. So.
Yep, no, totally agree. That's who I thought would step up, and he hasn't been there yet.
Yep. So we're going to see. I mean, it's a best of 3 series now. Or if it could win 2 out of these 3 games, they'll be moving on.
Yep.
And then in the East, I mean, we had the Nets. We got the Nets get ready to play the Bucks. Who do you like in that series? I know I think the Bucks beat them, 2 out of the 3 times during the season, but I don't think the Nets had their full roster.
Yeah, I think it depends on what Nets team shows up. Are they going to be able to play defense? Who's going to cover Giannis? I think the Bucks are kind of feeling themselves a little bit right now. So I think it's going to be a tough series. I mean, I know a lot of people think that the Nets will probably walk right over them, but, I think Milwaukee's got some toughness. They got some experience, and they got some good defensive players. So I think they can potentially make it a series. I think this is another deep one, maybe like a 6 or 7 game series. But ultimately, I think the Nets kind of figure it out, and you get, engaged Kyrie. Harden's been a great facilitator, and Durant just being Durant.
Oh, yeah. I think the Nets are definitely going to pull it out. But as far as how long of a series it goes, I think it's going to depend on the Bucks. Because, I mean, sometimes the Bucks come out flat offensively. They stink up the joint. But, I mean, I think it all depends on the Nets, man. I just feel like, they control whether or not a series can be dragged out to 7 games or not, based off their offensive power and all their stars, their ability to lock in defensively. Even, like I said, it doesn't have to be the greatest defense, but I mean, if they get some stops here and there, they're going to be pretty tough to beat.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. It really just depends on what team shows up on really on both ends.
Oh yeah, as well as how they defend Giannis, because I mean, we've seen before when he plays teams and they clog up that lane. Then he tends to struggle. I mean, he hasn't been hitting that jumper consistently. Not the greatest free throw shooter, And then it's going to be on the Nets to control Middleton and Holiday. So, so we're definitely going to have a good series on our hand.
Yeah, for sure. You don't want to get into Dame's performance last night?
Oh yeah, Then we had I knew I was forgetting something. Then we had the Nuggets and the Trailblazers. Your boy Dame Dollar going off for a 50-piece and a losing effort. He's making a run at that Steph level right now.
Yeah, he's like crunch time, maybe one of the best shooters like you'll ever see. I mean, I still don't understand why they don't foul him, right? I mean, I'm watching it this morning, just watching the replay, and I forget who's covering him on the first one at the end of regulation, but there was 8 seconds left. Foul that guy, make him shoot 2. Don't let him get off a 3, and then on the second one to force was it second overtime?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same thing. Michael Porter Jr.'s on him. There's 10 seconds left on the clock. Just foul the guy. Don't let him get that shot off. Or you gotta. How many of these shots is he going to hit before people start realizing he's not going to miss these?
Yeah, I know. They were showing some stat the other day. most 30-foot 3-pointers. He's at like 154. Steph is at like 124. This is like from the past 5 years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why people aren't showing him the respect that he deserves, but I mean, he's making a name for himself. But below the radar, not getting all the hype, but some of the other point guards, but he's definitely a monster out there on the court.
Yeah, he's when he gets hot like this in these series, man, he's fun to watch.
Yeah, well, I wish he was on the Knicks, man.
I texted my buddy this morning. I said, why can't the Celtics have a guy like this?
I mean, you never know. Maybe somebody makes a trade for him.
Oh man, they would never let Portland live that down. They cannot get rid of him.
I mean, you never know. It depends on who they're trading for him. I mean, that would be interesting. Because it seems like one of those situations that you might not get out, get to a final or get to a West Conference final because of the people he has to go through, or sometimes people on his team will just aren't stepping up sometimes. So
yeah, I mean that's true. There's a lot of guys that have been traded that you would never think would be, but I don't see them doing that.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see. We got some. It's gonna be an interesting few weeks left in the NBA.
Yep.
And on to the NFL. I mean, not much to cover, but I mean, it's past June 1st. Still waiting on Julio Jones and Aaron Rodgers to get traded, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's post the June 1 deadline. So what's the next move here?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Aaron Rodgers one is going to go out a little bit longer because, I mean, they pretty much screwed themselves anyway. So, I mean, it's not like the draft picks will help them now because the draft is already over. I think they got to see what wide receivers come back, even though a lot of them are on strike, to work with Love. So let's just field the best offer for Aaron Rodgers. But I also think they're trying to wait to kind of call this bluff so they can give back some of that money, some of that bonus money. But I think he's going to stick to his guns.
Yeah, I'm more interested in the Julio Jones. I just don't see Rodgers moving. I think they're going to come to a standoff, and I think he'll probably fold or something, or just not play. But I don't see them moving him this year unless they get like you said, blown away by an offer. But Julio, I can see moving because he's a little bit older. He's kind of got a bigger contract, that they can get out of, all guaranteed money, and they could probably still get a first rounder or early second somewhere in there.
Yeah, that's the thing. They have to move him because they can't sign their rookies.
Yeah, well I mean, you can get creative, like what the Packers did today. They basically signed their tight end Tanyan to like a 5-year deal, but the last 4 years are voidable, so it spreads out that cap hit. I mean, you could do stuff. Eventually, it'll come back to roost at some point, but you kind of bank on the salary cap going up, moving some higher price guys off your team at some point. So I think that's what they're trying to do right now, and I think Atlanta can do some things, but they're aging it. A couple of places where with Julio and you got Calvin Ridley there, who's a stud already, and then Matt Ryan, he'll probably, I would guess this is going to be his last year in Atlanta. I think his cap hit goes down to minimal next year, minimal or zero if he's cut. So yeah, I think Atlanta's going to have some big shakeups here in the next year or so.
What team would you like to see Julio go to?
Honestly, I'd like to see him go to the Packers. Pair him up with Devontae, and maybe you can coerce Rodgers to come back. I think that would be kind of an olive branch of sort to Rodgers. Other than that, I wouldn't mind seeing him in Tennessee opposite A.J. Brown. Kind of taking over that Corey Davis role, but obviously a much better receiver than Corey Davis. But having those two guys on the outside, that's a scary tandem.
No love for New England?
I don't think he would go there. I don't think that the Patriots would do it. I don't think it has, I think that he'd fit well there. I just don't see them making that move.
What about
because it's a high price guy, first of all. He's making $22 million, I think, next year. And then you're gonna have to give up a draft pick to get him. And if he's if it comes down to sending him to the Patriots for a third rounder or sending him to somewhere like Seattle for a second or a first rounder, I got to imagine they're gonna take the better offer.
How do you feel about Baltimore?
I don't know. I'd have to look at their cap situation. I think they could probably, obviously they need a receiver, but I don't know. I don't know how he fits in that system. They want to really run the ball still.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe with him there that somehow they open it up, or
Maybe. I'm
mm,
not sure how good of a downfield passer Lamar Jackson is yet. He hasn't really. He's kind of a little bit up and down.
yeah. I mean, maybe he needs that receiver to do that. But, I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see to see. Supposedly, there's one team that offered a first round pick for him. So, but they haven't released who it was. So maybe it was Tennessee.
Yeah, I could see that. I still think that's a high price with an aging guy like that, though.
Yeah, I think a second or third rounder would have been perfect for him. But I mean, it's kind of the arms game, who can get the best deal. So,
Yep.
and I think somebody's gonna be desperate enough to get him and send that first.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it may come down to that, but I'd say probably you see him go for a second.
Oh yeah,
But less than 100 days till season kicks off.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
September's gonna be right around the corner.
Oh yeah. It goes quick. The Rays were streaking. They've kind of taken over the AL East. Had won 11 in
Again.
a row. Yeah. Yeah. They had an 11-game winning streak snapped. Now they got to play the Yankees in the Bronx. Yankees have been sliding a little. Their pitching has been failing them. Can't get hits in key spots.
Yeah, 5 games back from the Rays right now.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, AL East is still pretty strong. 4 teams above 500. Feels like that could go anyway this year. I feel like Houston's still kind of playing some up and down ball. They're a half game out in the West with the A's leading that division. I don't think the A's can sustain where they're at. I don't think they have the horses there.
Yeah, I feel like the Astros somehow, some way pull it out.
Yeah,
I don't even know I don't know how they do it. It kind of seems like a Spur type team.
a little bit
But they have a few guys here and there, but everybody overall, they play their part and they get the job done.
for sure. What else we got? Oh, the Central in the NL, the Cubs have won 11 of 12, playing really good ball right now, leading the division. They just took it over from the Cardinals. That should be a good battle, as always. St. Louis, Chicago, no love lost there.
Yeah, and I see the Giants and the Padres are tied up. They're both about 2 games ahead of the Dodgers. So
Yeah, Dodgers been kind of again up and down, playing not so great. Giants. So I feel like the Giants are one of those Spurs teams, man. I feel like every time you think that they're gonna unload and restock, they're right back in it. I mean, Buster Posey's having a comeback year, playing great behind the plate. Actually, he might be playing first base, but yeah, they're playing really good baseball again.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see who can stay hot and create some separation.
Oh yeah, about to hit the dog days here, end of June till the middle of August is that's when it gets a little long.
Yeah, whoever can hold off on this stretch and pull these games together, because come playoff time it's coming around real quick.
Yeah, you kind of like lay every I think in the next month or so we should get some more clarity on what things are looking like. Usually by the All-Star break, and kind of see whether your team's in it or not. So we got that coming up. I think it's early July, right after the 4th. So yeah, I got about a month and a half, and then we'll see how the standings look then.
Oh yeah, and then that might be it for MLB. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. Got another edition of JD's Bites and Brew for you.
All right, so this week we got a Indian meal.
Oh no,
we did a homemade buttered chicken. You familiar with that?
Nah, it doesn't sound like it. An Indian meal.
It's so basically you marinate the chicken in some spices, gram masala, turmeric, salt, pepper.
Mm-hmm.
Throw a little coconut cream in there, let it marinate for a few hours, and then you cook it in a tomato-based butter sauce. So it's butter, onions, garlic, tomatoes, crushed tomatoes, and you just kind of let it simmer in there for a half hour or so, and finish it off with some coconut cream, and then put some cilantro on it and throw it over a bed of white rice, and it's delicious.
Oh, nice. It sounds good. I mean, but every time I've had Indian, man, I had to run up in that bathroom right after, like your boy Ben Stiller in Along Came Polly.
Yeah, that's kind of why I prefer to almost make it at home. You know everything that's going in there. Other than the spices, there's nothing crazy in it. Nothing that you wouldn't like, I don't think.
Yeah, might have to give that another shot.
Yeah, try the homemade version. It's a little lighter, but good.
Definitely check that out. And what are you drinking this down with?
All right, so for tonight we got a beer coming from the South Shore of Massachusetts, Weymouth, Vitamin C Brewing. This is a good summer beer for you. It's called Nice and Easy. It's an IPA, but it's a session IPA, so it's only 4.9%. So you can you can have a few of these without and still be able to drive home. That's why I call them a session beer. So you can have more than one and hang out. So it's got all the kind of the mouthfeel of a regular IPA to me, just at that lower ABV. So great for summer parties, hanging out in your front yard, doing yard work, stuff like that. Refreshing, but still with that big flavor that people like.
Oh, nice. Sounds great. I wish could have had all these barbecues I went to, but it was terrible outside.
Yeah, this wasn't the Memorial Day weekend that we were all waiting for in the Northeast.
Oh no, it was rain, rain, and rain. Saturday wasn't that bad though. We were able to still be outside for a barbecue, but it's the Sunday one. We had to keep it strictly inside.
Yeah, we were rained out all weekend. Started Friday night and didn't stop till Monday around probably 2:00.
Oh no, it was gone. It was all cleared up by Monday. The crack as soon as that sun came out on Monday, it was shiny. It was sunny, all good.
Well, you lucked out over there, Rich.
And that's JD's Bites and Brew. And then before we get on to the BRRs, I forgot to ask. I mean, you got Coach K retiring from Duke this season. This is his last season.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there'll ever be another Coach K, or who do you think is primed to be the next Coach K, so to say, in college basketball?
I don't know, man. It's hard to say. I think the difference is college basketball is just so different now than it was, back when he started. And Coach K lasted as long as he did because he evolved. But I think the one issue nowadays is going to be that transfer portal.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like I don't know if he could hang on with those guys. I don't know if you can compete at that in college with having not knowing whether or not you're going to have your guys next year. I mean, the one thing about the transferring was always that you had to sit out a year. You lost a year of eligibility. Now that they've kind of subsided that for now, it's kind of a free for all. So it's almost like these guys that are at smaller schools are almost auditioning for the big Kentucky's, Dukes, and North Carolinas. And I just I don't know if he got tired of it or just didn't want to deal with the hassle. But I think it's going to be difficult to get a guy that stays like that at a school for that long.
Yeah, you got too many factors. I mean, you got the one and done rule, right? So, I mean, if you do get a top recruit, he probably doesn't want to stay no longer than 1 year. And then you got players that are pretty much looking to audition for other schools, like you mentioned. So this is like free agency for college sports. And then the thing is that there's no longer that penalty where people will have to sit for 1 year. You can just transfer and be good, and be immediately eligible to play. So we're not gonna. There's gonna be a lot of. There's not gonna be many teams that are gonna have that player that has been there. 2-3 years, because the movement is so easily done in terms of college sports right now.
Yeah, and I think that's where Coach K kind of shined. He was able to get those guys that would stay, 2-3 years. Obviously adapted, getting guys like Kyrie and Tatum, and but I think he excelled. Maybe early mid-career all the way up to the mid-2000s with keeping the guys on, having a veteran team almost every year, like guys like Redick and Jay Williams and Grant Hill and, all those teams. So I'm not sure that the college basketball landscape is built that way anymore.
Yeah. We kind of saw the effect it had with Gonzaga. I mean, they had some veteran players, so, they were able to make the run that they made, but it's going to be interesting to see, who steps up as far as, being that go-to coach
I
because
mean,
it doesn't seem like it seems like the NBA is getting into the mix with this the D League. So
yeah, I
they're
think.
drawing they're drawing away some of the players.
I think you hit a good one there. I mean, Mark Few might be the closest thing. I mean, he's got it. He's got it made in at Gonzaga. Everything that you read is he loves the Pacific Northwest, doesn't want to leave, loves the recruiting piece, has been getting some really good players, and can kind of seems like he can mesh those one and dones with veteran players like he did last year to get them to the final. So he may be the closest thing that we see to a Duke, but still just not at a power big power school. I mean, they're a good college basketball school and in the tournament every year, but not one of those power conference teams that you'd like to see.
Yeah, they just don't finish well. So I mean, they're always in the mix in terms of Final Four, Elite Eight, but I mean they haven't won it in a while. So I think until he wins,
yeah,
he's gonna have to win some more because I mean he's kind of like the was it Don Nelson of college basketball? I think that's the coach I'm thinking about.
The Mavericks coach.
Yeah, won a bunch of games, but they just never won it.
Yeah, Mike D'Antoni.
Yep, that's another one. And then on to these BRRs. I mean, one of our favorite shows of the year just ended, Mare of Easttown. Gave it a 8.5 out of 10. I mean, great show from start to finish. Unfortunately, Tom was right about his prediction about it being the sun. So I know he was super happy about that.
That's right. Tom's not here to defend himself.
Yeah.
Or gloat.
So we'll move on. But I mean, I would love to see it get another season. I'm not sure what route they would go in.
Yeah,
as far as
that's kind of the problem with these shows is they're great. I just you can't run that show back, right? I mean, it'd have to be like a True Detective thing where it'd be a whole new cast and they'd have to be in a different place. I think two of the big draws of the show were small town Pennsylvania, you know what I mean? Small town, everyone knows each other, and Mare, played by Kate Winslet, being the local basketball star, stayed in town, now a detective. It's just hard. It's not like they could do it in a season because what are they going to have another murder case in Easttown? I mean, I lived in small towns my whole life, and I'm not sure I've ever it just stuff like that doesn't happen like that often, right? That's a once in a career type of a case that she got.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe they go other routes, digging in more to what happened with the son, or maybe the prostituting in the town.
I don't
might
know.
lead to something else. I don't know.
I just don't see where I don't see that them doing that. I don't know. I think it would just be difficult to get people on board again.
Yeah, because I don't even know how they would run it as a kind of like a true detective.
They can't,
because I mean, you would have to get a whole new cast and change the town. But I feel like that would be just a different show.
It's just a new show, right? No, yeah. I think this is it for them. I think that 7-show run was it. It was really good. Like you said, pretty good ending. I felt like they kind of cleaned up, a lot of the questions and kind of made the backstory clear and didn't leave any, stones unturned, I felt like. So I like when shows do that. I hate when a show ends and you're like, well, what about this thing that never really answered? The only weird one, and still didn't really understand, was the author and Mare. The author just kind of disappears and he's done. It's seems like the most pointless character in the show.
Yeah, that's what I said. I don't know why they. I mean, he was the one guy they could have taken out, and it wouldn't have affected the show at all. But
yeah, nothing changes other than there's a little bit of friction. When Zabel asks Mare out because she's kind of dating this other guy, but that's it. I mean, and that really wasn't even that big of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to find something new to watch now.
Oh yeah. I need to start 4 or 5 shows, Rich, and let me know what first few episodes are good on each.
Oh, what shows were you looking at? I started the Ragnarok or whatever on Netflix.
Yeah.
You never seen The Dark, right?
No.
Oh, okay. It's like a German show with English voiceovers.
I know. We watched about 5 minutes of the first episode.
Yeah, so Ragnarok is kind of like that as well, but I guess it's about people that have like either superpowers or to some extent, but it's kind of weird. So I'm probably like 3 or 4 episodes in. You can probably skip it. I don't think it's. I don't see it getting any better. And then I watched a movie called Unholy.
Mm-hmm.
Probably give it like a 6.5 out of 10. It's like a horror movie, kind of like The Conjuring, but it's about
Yeah, I saw the previews for it.
Yeah, it came out in movie theaters in March. So about this girl who gets I don't want to say possessed, but she's able like to heal people, but come to find out it's coming from they thought it was like an angel, like the Saint Mary or whatever, but it's actually some kind of demon that's actually looking to get souls. So I mean, it was all right, but I mean, I would give it a 6.5 out of 10. It wasn't really scary, and it kind of goes by quick. It's like an hour and a half movie, so it wasn't that bad.
All right.
And then outside of shows, I mean, that was the Cruel Summer that we got to start, and I don't know what else. What else?
Watched the first episode last night.
How'd you like it?
It's watchable. We're gonna go to a second episode. It's not one of those where you watch the first episode, you kind of fall asleep, and then just have trouble getting by that first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting kind of layout. I don't know if you've watched any of it or yet or not.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, so like the first episode is like basically it's like broken up into 3 different time periods. Mm-hmm. So over 3 years, so 93, 94, 95, and they just kind of go through the events of the main character's birthday each year and like how things are different. It's kind of funky start, but you kind of like see where she is today and then where she was. I guess it would be 2 years before that. So that was kind of like the whole first episode, trying to figure out what was going on.
Yeah, there's a few shows on my list I got to check out. There's one called Calls on Apple.
Mm-hmm.
And there's
Did you finish City on a Hill yet?
Oh yeah, I finished that. In reverse order. But yeah, I mean it's a solid show, man. You gotta love Kevin Bacon.
Oh, he's great.
But I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see where they go because he's no longer a cop.
Yeah.
So he's pretty much gonna be I don't want to say like a mobster, so to say, because he's claiming his favors with the priest, and I'm sure he's gonna be doing that to other people.
Yeah. I think that they could go a few different routes there, but yeah, I think you're right. It'd be interesting to see what he does, what he does now that he's not an FBI agent.
Yeah, and how far he'll take it to be in the mix, so to say.
Right.
Because I mean, he pretty much knows all the I don't want to say villains, but like drug dealers and people like that. So
yeah,
and he still got friends in the FBI. So besides his buddy that just booked it and just just moved out. But I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the next season of that.
Yeah, agreed.
And then there was another show called Tribes of Euphoria. Looks like a sci-fi. There's a few shows on my list that I'll get to check out. I know there was Hacks, which was another one.
Mm-hmm.
As the mom for Mare.
Yep.
And then I think there was. Oh, I gotta finish. I think I gotta rewatch The Nevers. I stopped at the second episode, so I might have to go back to see what it was about. And that's all I got for shows.
Nice.
I want to thank y'all for rocking out with your boy Rich, JD, and Tom here on the Sports Sidebar Podcast. Give y'all something to ride out on.